G'day, Adam Greg is my name, founder of Sherlok, and thanks for watching the demo on demand. I'll get straight into it and I'll keep this relatively high pace so we can get through everything. So the problem that Sherlok's solving is what we call the leaky bucket. So the mortgage broking industry has typically been trained and mentored and focused on new business, but there's no point in driving all this new business, record annual settlements, if you've got a leaky bucket, which is existing clients walking out the back door. That means your loan book at a certain stage will get into a plateau state. So you'll be writing, 80, 100 million worth of new loans. However, you won't actually be growing your trail book by 100 or 80 million per year. It's more likely only going to be 20 million because you've got clients leaving out the back door. And the MFAA recently reported that trail book churn is at 17%, which is significant. So our mission is to create memorable moments and valuable outcomes for clients and brokers that build lifelong relationships and therefore reduces client churn. We have a three-step process. So the first thing is we use our own artificial intelligence to identify clients that are at risk of churn, your most at-risk clients, and we present them to you on a weekly basis to get you in a weekly rhythm. Then what happens is we truly believe, and the evidence suggests and actually tells us, that repricing to keep that customer on the low rate is the number one significant impact on reducing churn. So Sherlok has been automated the repricing process. So Sherlok will do all the work to get your existing customer on a lower rate with the same lender. Then if there's better rates in the market, we automatically run a comparison and you can entice a refinance. And if the clients engage, if they click on the links in our emails, you get an SMS and an email letting you know that your client is wanting to have a refinance conversation. So some of the results that we've been getting, our highest reprice discount is 3.3% reduction, which is just phenomenal. We're seeing brokers who have been using Sherlok for 6 months have already seen a 23% reduction in trial book churn. So that's significant. And what that means in dollar terms is a $37,000 increase in revenue for mortgage brokers. So a significant uplift for brokers who are using Sherlok by reducing churn. And it makes a significant long-term impact on your business. To give you an example of that, you're actually going to have, based on a broker using Sherlok and having sort of industry standard churn, or a broker who's not using Sherlok and having higher churn, you're actually going to have an extra 30% extra trial, an extra $130,000 extra trial income after using Sherlok for 6 years. So imagine what you could do with $130,000 trail income, extra trail income today. Could you employ another person to help grow the business? Could you go and get a PAYG broker or another broker in your business to continue to grow? What are the opportunities that open up as soon as you have that extra income? So it's really important to make sure that you start protecting that trail income today, because you'll have a much more successful and profitable business in the long term. Now I'm going to jump straight into a demo. So as you can see here, this is what you'll see when you log into Sherlok and all your data has been pulled. You'll see a dashboard. I won't spend too much time on here, but you'll just see your overall trial book retention risk, your trial book size, how many clients you've got, how much your savings are from repricing your clients, and that's annual savings, and also your highest reprice savings. Now, I did mention Sherlok does three things. So first of all, we use our own artificial intelligence models that are very, very accurate at predicting churn. And we then generate and nudge you on a weekly basis. We generate that list of clients that are most at risk. And so you get an email and then you come into Sherlok and you jump into your reprices module. So remember, we predict churn, we reprice that client, and we generate refinance leads. So you would have got your weekly email. You jump into here, your weekly email says you've got clients to reprice. You jump into your reprices module, and the simple workflow for here is we've got the reprices that are queued for you to approve. So we haven't touched these yet. Our system has just said these are a list of clients that are most at risk of leaving you if you don't do anything based on our retention modeling. Once you approve these to be processed, they'll sit in progress and you can see the status and all the information on that client. If for some reason the client doesn't action that, or we're waiting on a lender and it's outside what we deem an acceptable SLA for that lender to respond, we'll then put those in your required action tab. So your required action tab is where something's happened and you need to come in here and decide what you want to do with this reprice to either cancel it, restart it, or close it off. When the lenders have responded to the reprice response, you'll see them in your lender response tab, and then you can send an email to your client and you can see the outcome here as well. And then you've got a full completed tab, which is an audit history, a full completed list of every single reprice that's happened. We've also got an all tab, which allows you to view across all the tabs, so you can search for a customer name and you'll be able to find them no matter what status they're in. So I'll show you how that works in practice. So you get your weekly email, you come into here, you'll see that the status here is queued for the broker's approval. You've got the customer's name, so you've got a snapshot of this client for quick view. You've got who the broker was, who the lender is, and then you've got their loan details. So you've got their current loan balance. You can see this is an investment property or an investment loan, variable P&I, the current rate. Now, the current rate's an estimate unless it has a little Sherlok verification next to it. We do use algorithms to predict and estimate what that rate will be today if nothing else has happened to that loan. So only view that as an estimate unless it's verified by open banking. Then we've got the loan amount, so the total loan amount. So if you've got loan splits as an example, this will be the total of all of those loan splits that will happen in this reprice. And this is a really cool feature. This is actually the property value, today's property value, not the property value in your CRM system or a settlement. And that gives us today's LVR, which is really important to achieving the best reprice outcome. So first of all, you can have a look at this. If you wanted to, you can actually open up that full reprice request and you can see all the information here. You've got everything there that's on display. If I go back, I'll show you how to cancel one first. Let's say, look, you've spoken to this client, you know that we can't do anything, or they're not interested, or they don't want to talk to you. You can actually come in here and you can postpone this to a new date in the future, or you can cancel this reprice permanently. And so I'll click confirm, and that's then cancelled. That is now sitting in your completed list as cancelled. Now, if you want to approve a reprice, you come in here, you click approve. And the first step in the process is to get updated data, because this is critical for achieving the optimum reprice outcome. And also, if we've got the updated data, you've then got a very clean data set within Sherlok. So Sherlok's actually cleaning your data for you. And then you can run appropriate refinance comparisons to entice that client into a refinance if there's better rates in market after the reprice. So first of all, you can send off the client portal. If you know all that client's information, you can actually view what we've got here, and you can actually update it yourself, or you can call the client and say, look, can you just give me this updated information? As soon as you click submit, that'll go straight through. Or if you want Sherlok to contact the lender and get that information, you can just put in here, Sherlok to collect. This is a paid service, $4, because we do actually have people costs associated with that. But look, most people are using our client portal, which is all broker branded. We'll take it for a test drive so you can have a look what it looks like. But if you've got your profile picture and logo uploaded into Sherlok, into your profile, then it will be using that. This is all supported by and driven by open banking. So your client will get an email telling them the value that you want to reprice their rate and track their interest rate 24/7. They click on the link, and then they come into here, and your logo and profile picture will be at the top. But it's as simple as them clicking collect my loan information. If this is the first time they're coming in, they have to set up a new 4-digit PIN. Then it will come in and they'll select their bank. Now, because we already know who their bank is, they'll actually be skipping this screen and they'll go straight to this screen. So essentially what it says is Sherlok requests your permission to share your data, and Sherlok will track your rate so we can request a lower rate if it's too high. The client just turns these consents on, and then the client clicks consent. And then it's as easy as that. That's all completed. So that's the client portal. So you can select here who you want to send it to. So you might want to send it to, you might only want to send an email, not an SMS. So you can turn your SMS function off. Otherwise, this will send out an email and SMS. Now, Sherlok has this section down the bottom here where we've gone and validated all of your information within the portal, Sherlok's portal, and we can see that there's extra information that is required. So you will need to complete this before you proceed. So if I click submit, you'll see that it says this data is required. So in this instance, reprices are processed via the NAB portal. So you have to put your information in here, and that's fully encrypted both in transit and at rest in AWS servers, which is stored outside of Sherlok. So we don't store them ourselves. It's a third-party provider that will store that. You simply click submit, and then that will go off, and that's been completed. Now, a cool thing is if your clients have consented to open banking, you can have a look at what happens here. you can see that this says it's ready to submit. Current loan data is up to date. So all you need to do is actually just click submit, and that reprice has gone off. There's nothing else you need to do with that one. So I'll show you that again. Here's another one, a client who has consented to open banking. We've already got their data. You can just click submit. So it's literally single click repricing. Now our engine will go and process those. So what you'll see is in progress. You can see we're actually collecting the data, or Sherlok's actually processing this one. Our engines run every 5 minutes. So in the case of those CBA ones, it's gone off, it's processing those in the portal, it's doing all the hard work for you. It'll read the response, it'll actually then make an escalation decision, and then it will return the result into Sherlok, and then you will see that here in your lender response. So when you come to your lender response tab, you actually see what the new rate is. So NR is new rate. This is demo data, so it doesn't have the previous rate, but what you would actually see is this information here: previous rate, new rate, savings, and outcome. So this one's actually been approved, which means you can send an email and communicate the good news to your client. So again, you can choose to send an email and SMS, and then you need to select what template you want to send your clients. So the first one I'll show you is exclude comparisons. So you're sending a good news email. You're letting them know that the Commonwealth Bank has reduced your interest rate and they've lowered it to 4.64, and those rates are correct as of that date. There's nothing else for them to do. You can click send, and that's gone off. Now, if you wanted to, you can actually include comparisons. So Sherlok will let you include comparisons if your savings by refinancing are more than $900 per year for this client. So you can see here the same message. But what you can see here is our detective work has said that there's a potential, highlighted as a potential $4,000 savings because there's lower rates in the market, and we've dropped those in here automatically. So you don't need to go off and run these comparisons. Sherlok has done it like for like and compare what's in the market. And then what you can see here is that in this box, if they click in this box to discuss refinancing, they'll get taken to a thank you page, again, branded as you, their broker, and you'll get an SMS and an email letting you know that this client wants to have a conversation about refinancing. So it's as simple as that. So they're queued for approval, go in progress, lender response, and then they move to your completed tab. Now, I think this is probably the most powerful prospecting tool for mortgage brokers in the market. If you choose to send an email to the client after a reprice has happened and you include these comparisons, if you click send, that gets sent off to your client. Now, one of the really cool things, as I mentioned, is if you come into your refinance leads tab, this is, as I mentioned, I think the most powerful prospecting tool for mortgage brokers. So this prospecting list here is every single client that Sherlok has identified that were at a risk of leaving or high risk of leaving, who has then gone through the repricing process with their current lender, and then you've sent them an email with the repricing outcome, and you've already identified that they can save more than $900 per year by refinancing to another lender, and you've actually put that into the email. So this is a really hot prospecting list, and brokers are getting tremendous results by either themselves, their admin, or new brokers calling these clients and following up to see if they want to look at refinancing. Now, I'll show you how easy it is. First of all, you click the email, which is the email that was sent to that client at that point in time. And you would call the client, and let's say this client's name is Adam. You call them and say, hey, Adam, I just wanted to, first of all, let you know that you may have seen the email that we reduced your loan, we repriced your loan with Great Southern Bank, and we got you a great interest rate at 3.89. What are you going to do with the $2,000 savings that we got you each year? Pause, have a little bit of a chat. Hey, look, I wanted to let you know, Adam, that there's a potential $7,000 savings if we have a look at refinancing, because I did a little quick comparison just based on rate, and there are cheaper rates in the market. And I think we need to have a conversation about refinancing and see, understand what your needs, your objectives are, and then I can come up with a recommendation of where we should go and if you should refinance. Super, super powerful prospecting call. There's a reason to call, because you've sent them an email. You're giving them the value, you're highlighting the work you've already done for them, the great outcome, but also the call to action is, hey, look, we can do a little bit better if you want to talk about refinancing. Brokers who are using this are getting tremendous results. You can then move this one across. So you can go, okay, I've called that client. You could add notes here if you wanted to, and you go, look, I'm going to move that into progress because we've booked a meeting, and that will actually then sit in your in progress tab. So you've got a really simple flow here until you can complete these off. Now, if a client clicks on your email proactively, so you've sent that email with comparisons and they click on that, you get an SMS and an email saying, hey, you've got a new lead. That will sit in your new leads tab. So these are all the clients who have actually clicked on that link in the email. And these are hot refinances you should be looking to contact within 24 to 48 hours. Now, another cool thing that we've got here in your client section is if a client calls you and reactive, so you're reactive to a repricing request. Remember, the reprices module here is when you're proactive because Sherlok is predicting churn. If you're reactive and a client's called you and said, hey, look, what can we do about our rate? You can just come in here, you can search the client, and you can search it by a client name, lender, or even put in their lender loan number. And then what you can do is you can just reprice now directly from this client. So you can say, hey, look, while you're on the phone, there's two things I'll do. First of all, I can send you a link and you can consent to open banking. I'll be able to track your interest rate for 12 months. And if it ever becomes out of market, priced out of the market in the future, I'll automatically get you a lower rate. Otherwise, if you've got your loan information at hand, if you can just give this to me now, I'll update it, click submit, and then that goes off to be repriced. Really, really powerful tool and simple way to reprice your clients. Look, if you're not doing anything, you need to do something. We are moving into a very high churn, high risk environment with rates moving, increasing, potentially declining in the future, but also refinancing becomes simpler and simpler. The barriers for clients to move is significantly less, so they're going to move more frequently. Give us a try. We've got a 21-day free trial. If you've got any questions, let me know and have a great day.